Devotionals for the period the 21st to the 25th of November. And we're covering John 12, verses 16 to 26. We're going to jump straight in. On Monday, we discovered that when Jesus' disciples lacked understanding, they actually turned to the Word of God. And it's something that I've noticed over the years, is that people who I'd look to and think to myself, I'd like to live my life like them. They don't wander around saying, well, we've got to pray about this, we've got to do this, or I wonder if I can get somebody's help. They're the sort of people who actually say, I wonder what the Word of God has got to say about this situation. And they're looking to the Word of God for guidance. And from what I've seen, people who do that, they actually live their lives, certainly in a way which attracts me to attempt to live it in the same way. Guidance from the Word of God is where Jesus' disciples began, and it's a good way for us to continue. On Tuesday, we discovered that the things that we do, the way we live our lives, just ordinarily going about, well, we're watched. People watch us. And do you know, I think for those of us who work in puppet teams and go out into the community in particular, that people will understand as much about Jesus from the way that we interact with each other on the team as they will from listening to the sketches or the songs that we use to present the gospel to them. It's just something that we need to remember. The way we react when we're standing in line in the supermarket queue, everybody else around us can be moaning and grumbling, and it's the way that we stand there with patience, enduring the crowd during this Christmas rush. That's going to speak volumes to people. And the Bible does show us that, yes, people watched what Jesus did. And in fact, it was because of this and the reputation that Jesus had that Greeks came to see him. And we learned from them on Wednesday that there's a wrong thing to look for, if you like, in Jesus, as well as a right thing. And the wrong thing to look for, they were Greeks and they were used to living in a society which gave a great deal of prominence to the human form, the human body. In their art, we can see that in their statues, the way in which there's a concentration on a representation of the bodies of men and women. And these Greeks had come and they wanted to see Jesus. Now what they were missing is this, is that we know from the Bible, we know that Jesus wasn't somebody who was sort of physically a dominant person or somebody to look at. He certainly wasn't like the Greeks sort of conjured up in their minds, these sort of heroes, gods and heroes, who were really sort of like hunky and people like Hercules and so on. Jesus wasn't like that. But then you see, Jesus doesn't appeal in that sense to our flesh. He appeals to our hearts. It's our hearts and spirits that Jesus is after, and that's the drawing that takes place towards Jesus is of that nature. And so we need to know, we need to look for the right thing in Jesus and not the wrong thing. On Thursday we discovered that dying to self and the world and producing fruit in our lives glorifies God. Now what on earth does all that mean? Well, dying to self, I suppose put simply, is we can put other people before us in our lives. Therefore we don't grab the best seat at the concert. We don't take hold of the menu first, we offer it to somebody else. We don't trip people up as they're dashing for the last seat on the train. No, we are people who die to self. We put others first. Principally, of course, above everything else, we should be putting Jesus first in our lives. God first. What does He want us to do? Do I live like that? Well, come on. No. It's something I'm working towards. You know, I know what I should do, and as each day passes, I never cease to amaze myself at how mind-bogglingly stupid I can be. But it's something to work towards. It's a life without selfishness. And as I say, I certainly haven't got there yet, but that's the direction in which I'm heading. Why? Because the Bible tells me that way my life will produce fruit that will glorify God. What does that mean? It'll mean that my unselfish actions, helping other people, being kind to other people, well, all of this stuff actually is called fruit, and it's good. And when people see it, they'll say, well, you know, that was really helpful. Why did that person do it? And it gives us the opportunity to say why. It gives us the opportunity to tell people about Jesus. So there we are, dying to self and to the world. And what does that mean? Well, we put the things of God before the things of the world. And do I do that? No, I do not all the time, I'm ashamed to say. But that's something I'm working towards. It's something that I want very much. And I love to see this. Give a practical example. The way people will give up a Saturday and go to a one-way training day to learn how to equip themselves to be able to work in their churches and in their communities to share the gospel through puppetry. And they willingly give up a day to do that. And that is, in part, dying to self. That's the sort of thing I mean. So, you know, we're not there yet, but we know the direction we should be going in. That's the important thing. Finally, on Friday, we discover that it's those who are diligent in serving Jesus that God honours. And of course, all this is really like what I've been saying. Is all this, it follows through from this dying to self. Because as we serve Jesus diligently, what does that mean? It means that we do it seriously. Doesn't mean we don't enjoy ourselves while we're doing it, but it means that we apply ourselves to it. And we all know it doesn't matter what we do. Whether you're planning for a holiday, whether you're decorating a room, whether you're writing a thank you letter to a great aunt or an auntie for your Christmas present, whatever it is, you know. If you apply yourself to it and you concentrate upon it and you want to do your best in whatever you're doing, that's called applying yourself diligently. And that's what we do with life. We apply ourselves diligently in serving Jesus. And God, in response, honours us. That's not why we do it. We do it because it's the right way to live. We do it because as we do that, we find that people are encouraged to find out more about Jesus. And that's such a good thing. Well, bless you. I guess that you are already in the midst of your plans and preparations for Christmas. So have a good weekend. Hope the weather holds fair for you. And I look forward very much to being with you.